Hey, it's Robert here, fresh from a stint at the North Pole, as you can see by my luxurious beard. It's an industry secret that the vast majority of piano lesson book sales are only in the earliest levels. Sales drop off drastically as students progress. In this video, I'll show you how to build a foundation for continued growth with your method book pieces, so you won't have to be one of those students who ends up left behind. If you're studying piano or keyboard, or if you have a child who is, you need to watch this video. I follow a lot of the internet piano forums, and often somebody will post that they want to learn piano and ask what they should do. Usually the stock answer from the forum is to take lessons or get one of the many piano method books that are available and study it on your own. I'm talking about books like Piano Adventures, Alfred's Basic Piano Library, Piano Safari, and others. That's fine advice as far as it goes, it just doesn't go very far. Leaving aside the question of how to find an effective teacher, in this video I want to help you understand how piano method books work so you can get the most from them. I've been teaching piano for 25 years and performing professionally for 35. I've taught from every method book on the market, but I've also done something most teachers haven't, which is to study the research and psychology behind how we learn music. What I've found is that method books are useful, but teachers rely too heavily on them, to the extent that we're focusing on the book instead of you, the student in front of us. Multiply that times hundreds and hundreds of piano lessons all across the country on a daily basis, and what you've got is a broken system. The simple truth is, you can't learn music from a book. Music is more than a collection of things we read about music. Music is movement, music is rhythm, music is singing, and none of these things can be gotten from text and symbols in a piano method book, even if it comes with accompaniment tracks you can play along with. What I've found is that if you don't have the music in your ears and body and voice and movement, it's impossible to bring it out at the piano. The real task of music lessons, which is usually ignored or left for some future date, is how to help you find the music in you. Because when you do, the pieces of music in your method books can be fun to play and improvise with. If you don't, they only become more tedious as you continue. I'd like for this video to start a series of videos where I'll explore specific pieces and some of the popular piano methods in order to give you the tools you need to make sense of what's printed in the book, so you can get the most out of those pieces as you learn to express yourself, not just to give yourself a sticker and move on to the next piece. In this particular video, I'm going to look at a piece from the Piano Adventures books by Nancy and Randall Faber. The piece is The Haunted Mouse. It's in the Level 1 lesson book. That's a book for kids, but you'll soon see how even adult students can start to fail underneath the weight of this material. This piece is also in Faber's Accelerated Piano Adventures for the Older Beginner Level 1 lesson book, where it has a different title and some slight changes. I chose this piece because it's often one of the last pieces students can play well and enjoy learning. In the pieces following, interest starts to wane. And by the next level or two, they've often stopped lessons and aren't very interested in playing again. So what's going on that leads to that drop-off? Of course, the pieces are getting more complex, but that shouldn't be an issue because they've been gradually doing that all along, starting in the preparatory books. The whole point of a sequenced method is to manage learning so it's never overwhelming. To find the answer, let's take a look at exactly what's being taught with the Haunted Mouse and what skills are used to play it. First, I'll play it for you so you'll know what I'm talking about. I took an inventory of the visual information that's printed in the score, and this is what I came up with. These are all visual symbols that have been presented prior to the unit the Haunted Mouse appears in. Before I get to the inventory, I want to point out that there's some other stuff on the page in addition to the printed music. We got a drawing up here, which I think is included to keep your interest, but my thing is, if the musical content itself is not interesting enough, you're not going to be learning music. There's the song title, that's fine. There's some instructions here. Are your fingers curved and playing on their tips? Well, that's not going to be helpful because when fingers are actively curved, there's a lot of unnecessary tension there. You do want your fingers to be curved, but just their natural skeleton curve, not curved playing on their tips. You want to be playing on your fleshy pad. Then there's lyrics to the song, which I never hear students singing those. There's some instructions at the bottom. Identify each curved line as a slur or tie. Well, yeah, that's pretty crucial. And again, before I get to the inventory, some more general technical stuff. There's a couple of scale patterns here that use different fingers, even though they're very similar patterns. And playing this versus this with different fingers, it's difficult for students. Anyway, that said, let's get to this inventory. This is a long list of stuff, but it supports the whole argument of this video, so I'm going to go through it. In this piece, there are 8 staffs, 4 grand staffs, 4 braces, 4 treble clefs, 4 bass clefs, 2 time signatures, 4 dynamic instructions, 7 finger numbers, 60 note stems, 10 A's below middle C, that's this one, 3 A's at the bottom of the piano, that's this one, 3 B's, 12 C's, 13 D's, 14 E's, 12 F's, 1 G. That's about half the inventory. Continuing, there's 8 quarter rests, 4 ties, 3 slurs, 16 bar lines, 1 double bar, 14 staccato dots, 3 dotted half note dots, 4 pairs of tied whole notes, 8 different pitches, 3 boxes of measure numbers, 40 staff lines, 32 staff spaces, 18 ledger lines, 18 harmonic thirds, 18 melodic seconds, 37 quarter notes, 14 half notes, 8 dotted half notes, 8 whole notes. Excuse me, there's 3 dotted half notes, not 8. I said that wrong. Regardless, that's a total of 421 things. And don't double check my math on that. The point is, it's a lot of stuff. And considering this is about 8 square inches of printed music, that's about 6.5 pieces of information per square inch. It's an overwhelming amount of material for you to remember. But none of those things I just said is music. It's kind of like that Rene Magritte painting with the pipe. And how are you supposed to learn music when you're bombarded by hundreds of little symbols you think you have to decipher in order to play? That's not a foundation for your continued growth. That's why students who go on to play piano for a lifetime are the exception, not the rule. If you stopped studying music, it's not because you aren't musical. It's because the system didn't work for you, although it seems to work for publishers, teachers, and parents. So what is music in this piece? It's 2 things, rhythm patterns and tonal patterns. There's only 4 different rhythm patterns and 4 different tonal patterns here. That's a manageable number. You can remember 8 things. You can build on that. These are the rhythm patterns. Ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba. You can also give these patterns labels that help you remember a growing vocabulary of patterns. Do de do de do. Do. Do de do de do. Do de do de do de do de. Do do de do. These are the tonal patterns. Bum bum bum. Bum bum bum. Bum bum bum. Bum, bum. Just like with the rhythm patterns, you can use labels that help you categorize them. La, do, mi, do, la. La, re, fa, mi, ti. Now listen to the Haunted Mouse again with a visual representation of the tonal and rhythm patterns, which are happening simultaneously. It's not easy to learn tonal patterns and rhythm patterns, but it's much harder to extract music from visual symbols without the musical vocabulary to do so. I compare it to flying an airplane or flying a brick. Flying an airplane is hard, flying a brick is harder. And I'm not picking on Piano Adventures. There's a lot of good music in these books. I'm starting with Piano Adventures precisely because so many students use it. And tweaking the way you use it is critical if you want to be successful with piano. Now I'd like to ask you a favor. The material in this video is vital for anybody who's learning music. It's literally the difference between nurturing the musical art within you or joining the thousands upon thousands of lost voices who stop their piano lessons and think it's their fault they couldn't learn. If you think that's valuable, I need your help. I urge you to share this video with anyone who's currently taking lessons or thinking about taking lessons. Share it with families with kids taking music lessons. This strategy isn't specific to the piano. It's true for all instrumental lessons. The people who buy music lessons need to know how this works. The YouTube algorithm doesn't know what to do with the kind of expertise I bring to this. I enjoy making these videos, but it's just not worth it for 9 viewers. If you're one of those 9 viewers, I appreciate you. It's just not sustainable for me though. And I'd like to turn this into a series where I can go more in depth with specific pieces to help you hear those rhythm and tonal patterns. And even to create and improvise with them. Because these patterns aren't just for classical piano students. They're the vocabulary all music students need, not just to read music, but to improvise and create. Have you tried improvising with a note stem lately? So please leave comments and subscribe and share this video. It will help a great deal for me to get this information out. Thank you, and thanks for watching.